As a student, being broke is honestly a normal thing, and most of the people on the campus are probably in a similar boat to you. However, it doesn't have to really be that way, and there's a multitude of different things that I'm going to cover in this video to show you how it's not going to be that way. And the only reason I know this, I want to be super real, super honest with you guys, is because I've actually trained countless students that now make $10,000 and even more per month. The only issue is 99% of students just don't know what to actually do. So in this video, I'm going to be taking a deep dive and basically 3 layers of how you can start making this kind of money as a student, and those 3 layers that it takes to start living a life of abundance and getting whatever you want. And just real quick, if you're a student watching this right now, you've made it this far in the video, which tells me that you're actually serious about it. So I want to make this a full-blown value video for you and make sure that you have all of the steps necessary to absolutely crush it. So step 1, let's start with the foundations of how to actually make money. In the future, I'm probably going to be making a video about the foundations of money itself, but what I want you to do is go to Google and then type in that amazing search engine, what is money? I'm not going to do a video on this right now. I will probably in the future with a full research of how I did it, but I want you to do that on your own and understand what money is. After that, you have to understand, of course, how to actually make it. Once you realize that money is a fundamental idea and it's just value that somebody else has placed upon it, then you realize that you need to bring value to the marketplace. You need to bring ideas to the marketplace that actually put value upon yourself. And once you come to that realization, you have to know how to bring that value. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this first layer. That value that you can bring to the marketplace is skills. This is not a new thing. This is a thing that has been around forever. You just have to be able to know what skills today work and what skills do not work today as efficient and will make as much money. Once you understand that you know you need skills, it moves on to the next portion, which is what skills should you learn. Now, this is my humble opinion, okay? And it's based off of this entire channel, right? So it shouldn't be a surprise to a few of you, but it may be a surprise to some of you if you're new to this channel. The one skill that I believe you need to learn is closing, and I'm going to give you the reason for that. Closing is an amazing skill because it allows you to make a lot of money, and you get to determine how much money you make in majority of the jobs that you're closing for because you get paid on a commission, which means it's based off of you. If you put more work in, you make more money. If you close more deals, you make more money. It's very simple. Now, another reason I think closing is super apparent of a skill to have is because it brings an immense value to the marketplace like we were talking about before. There is a ton of business owners that are way more successful than you are right now at this point, but that you can work under and actually be that mediator of a closer because they're really busy. They're producing a bunch of different things to make sure that their business is profitable, and they need someone's help basically to close those deals. That can be you. You can do that. Another big benefit of learning the skill of closing is when you decide that you want to start your business in the future, you already know how to close. And I'm going to tell you that is a huge advantage from most people. Most people just get into business and do it based off of systems and not actually based off of closing. You should do both. But if you already have closing, it's going to be much easier for you to train a team to actually close on your behalf. And it's also going to be easier for you to actually rally a team behind you that wants to work for you, that believes in the cause that you're fighting for, that believes in everything that you're doing because you know how to close, you know how to sell, and you can sell them effectively on your idea. Now, I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but you should learn closing as the beginning start of this journey. And then after you've learned it, that is when you're going to get into high ticket closing remotely. It is the future right now. You can go close at a local shop. You can be a car salesman, right? You can be a life insurance agent. You can be a real estate agent. You're going to make a lot of money doing that, and you're going to get a really good skill out of it. But if you want to work from home, if you want to be able to live a lifestyle that you want to live, you want to go out, go to the beach, live in an amazing place, travel whenever you want, you're going to want to do it remotely 100%. So that is why you should get into remote high ticket closing as soon as you learn the skill. So now we're going to fast forward a little bit. Let's say you are in layer 2, which is you are now in high ticket closing. As a student, here's the number one thing that is going to make you a ton of money. Most of the students that are watching this right now or will be watching this in the future, are going to have to get a part-time remote position at first. Because number one, they're going to have to prove it to themselves that they can actually make money. And number two, of course, you're probably going to have to go to school at the same time you're trying to do a job. You are a student at the end of the day. So you are going to have to take less hours than a typical full-time remote closer will take. Now, with that in mind, you're not going to have as many opportunities. So you are going to have to do really, really well with the opportunities that you do have. So in layer 2, this is where the skill base comes in of actually asking the right questions, asking good questions. Because if you only have 2 calls in that day, you only have 2 opportunities versus somebody that's a full-time remote closer will have 6 opportunities. You can't help it, of course. You're a student and you're trying to juggle both, but you're only going to get 2 opportunities. So you need to maximize on that the best you possibly can. And the only way you can do that is by asking the right questions when you are in front of a prospect, okay? Asking the right questions is one of the most important things that you can do as a remote closer. Obviously, you're going to be objection handling and doing all this kind of stuff, right? And going through probably a framework that the company is giving you, but asking the right questions is the most important part because you get to come to a full problem. And before I go into what questions to ask, I just want to say this for you to make it a lot easier. Sales is very simple, okay? All you have to do is find the true problem that a prospect has and then provide a solution. That is it. It's not this gimmicky crap, right? It's not this NLP stuff that you see constantly and this, oh, let me do this persuasion and that persuasion. It's none of that crap. All you have to do is find the problem and then provide a solution. It's very simple. It's basically what everyone does in the entire marketplace. If a business is started, it started because they found a problem and they solved it. That's it. That's all you're doing as a closer. So don't get it twisted with, I'm going to teach you a bunch of lie here and kind of manipulate here. No, that's not closing. That's not what I've ever done. And I've been the best in every single sales job that I've been at. You don't have to do that. You can be super honest, super easy. And of course, you can just ask the right questions, right? So we're going to talk about that now. So the first initial questions that you should be asking, okay, when you start the sales call, you're going to start it with an intro more than likely where you are setting the pace for this call. This is probably going to be on the framework once you're in a position. But the first couple questions that you really want to nail down is this: who are they and what do they want? Now, of course, you're not really going to ask this on the call, but that's what you're trying to get out. And I want to give you the frameworks rather than giving you exactly what to ask because it's not really going to help you. I want you to understand the principles behind it. So with this, you're going to ask them, essentially, you're going to try and get answers to these questions, I should say. Who are they and what do they want? That is it. And the reason for this is because you want to understand who this person truly is. Now, there's going to be a multitude of different questions that you can ask around this, but who is this person? Where are they from? How are they raised? Where did they grow up? Did they grow up with both parents? Do you know that? Because you're going to get a really good gauge of who they are as a person, which is going to give you really good indications. How do they make decisions? That's based on who they are as a person. Are they going to lie to you or tell you the truth? That's based on who they are as a person. Do they need something life-changing? That's who they are based as a person. What happened in their life? These are all really, really good questions to ask and really, really good things to have the answers to so that you can actually close the deal. But in order for you to close that deal in the first place, you need to know who they are truly at heart. And that comes with, again, asking the right questions around that, but actually being a friend to this person. You have to understand you need to listen more than you talk. There is a ton of people that just don't get listened to enough. And if you do just that, you might just get the close from that. But understand who they are is the first part. And then what do they want? I've used this on a bunch of different sales calls. I actually asked them this. Here's what I do and here's how I do it. I basically just asked, hey, why are you on this call today? What are you wanting to get out of it? And what I'm trying to do there is really understand why they are here. Why did they get on this call? Because majority of the time, if you're in a remote closing position, they had to actually go through quite a process to get to that call. They had to go through qualifications. They had to go through multiple different things. And if they have gone through all that, why are they here? Because more than likely, they're probably going to give you an excuse at the end of, oh, I don't know if I have the money. I don't know if I can do it, blah, blah, blah. But if you understand why they are there and you are able to actually use that, that's going to be massive. Now, this is the most important point that I'm going to give you. Of course, why are they here and what do they want? That matters. But the thing that matters the most, even if you were to ask those 2 questions straight up, the thing that matters the most is the follow-up questions. When I ask a person, hey, what are you looking to get out of this call? A lot of times somebody will answer realistically and say, oh, I was just trying to figure out what you guys offer just so I can have more information. That's stupid. Nobody's there for more information. Nobody goes through that whole process, goes through video testimonials, watches videos, goes through a whole qualification just to to get more information. I know that, they probably know that, but we're not gonna say that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna ask follow-up questions by what they mean. So if somebody says, hey, I'm just here for more information, what I do specifically is I ask, what information are you looking for and what information have you already gathered? That's a good question, because if I can provide the information they're looking for, that's huge. Also, what information have they already gotten? What did they look at? What did they watch? What have they seen? That's super, super important. And the framework and the principle behind this is to really follow up on the questions that you're asking. What does things mean? What does that mean? Why did you say this, right? Those are really, really important questions. Here's the reason why. In life, you should question everything because most things actually don't make sense. For example, I am in this penthouse right now looking over the water in Florida. I am on the 17th floor. How does that make any sense? Right? How is this building not collapsing? How is it built structurally so amazing that I am not falling through 17 floors right now? What's happening? That makes no sense. How am I looking at the water? How did the water get there? How did we create so much civilization around the water, right? These are all crazy questions, but they're relevant because you're questioning everything. That's how you should approach a sales call, especially as a student, if you're trying to optimize on the only 2 calls you get. Question everything, because then you will get the truth. One thing I like to live by a lot is a verse in the Bible, which is, I'm summarizing obviously, but if you seek, you will find the truth. And that's essentially what I do in a lot of these different sales calls all the time, okay? And I do that in life in general. And I think you will find the truth as long as you seek it. That's why questions are so important. So that's layer 2. And that was a tangent, of course, and there was a lot to unpack in that, so go back and rewatch it if you need to. But layer 3 is very simple. Once you have asked a bunch of different questions and you have questioned basically their existence of why they're on the call, you are going to find the problem eventually why you're asking those questions. They are going to tell you the problem. All you have to do is listen. Now, layer 3 is coming up with a solution to that problem. Now, this to me is very, very simple, okay? Coming up with that solution as a student after you found the problem is easy. All you have to do is understand the problem fundamentally and then get creative. How can you solve it, right? If somebody genuinely says, hey, I just don't have enough money right now to afford $5,000. Cool. You know, in the back of your mind, you have payment plans, you have things that they can do. You maybe even have financing that they could apply for. Maybe they could get a credit card, whatever. The one thing you want to do is be super solution oriented about it. If you've solidified that it's just the price, which 99% of the time it's not. If it is just the price, let's use that example. All you are going to do is be solution oriented and actually help this person. Hey, Mr. Customer, Miss Customer, real quick, is it okay if I ask you about your finances? Question, ask permission first. If they say yes, go into their finances. What does it look like? Do you have a savings account? Do you have a checkings account? The only reason I'm doing this right now is because I actually want to deep dive in and help you be able to afford this because you've told me it will change your life. And the only thing stopping you is money. So let's figure out the money. A lot of people let money stop them because they don't have a plan to actually attack with money. Let me give you that plan. So we start to go in. What is your checking looks like? Do you have any credit card? Do you have any credit available at all that you could put forward to it? Let's see if we can break apart the plans to make it even easier for you. That is being solution oriented, okay? Because all you are doing is actually coming to a solution and finding a solution for that person. Let's say it's not money. Let's say it's something else. Let's say they have to talk to their wife. What is the solution for that? Get creative here. A lot of you guys behind this video that's watching it right now are super creative. Come up with ways to actually solve that problem. Why is the problem there in the first place? Why do they need to talk to their wife? If you found out who they were as a person, you probably know why, right? And you should have solved it before, but let's say it's here now. How do you solve that, right? I'm going to give you the principles to this and not necessarily the answers because I want you to be able to come up with a solution on your own because that is going to benefit you far more than me giving you some script of what to say and how to say it. It's never going to help you and you're probably going to end up being a robot on a sales call. I want you to be good, genuinely. Get creative. One thing I used to do that I'll give you a tip for. Every single objection that I got in sales, I would write it down on a piece of paper and then I would come up with 5 different answers of how to solve it. Just really creative. Being as creative as possible to come to a solution on the things that I was getting. Do that. Practice that, especially if you're a student, because when you get the 2 calls the next day, you are going to close both of them if you do this right. And you're going to maximize every opportunity that you have. And eventually you won't be in school anymore because you'll be making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. You won't need it. So come up with solutions solutions, be super solution oriented. That is very simple, very easy. All you have to do is be creative. But the most important fundamental part to that is you have to find the problem beforehand. Make sure you find the problem. Ask the right questions. Dive deep. Ask why. What do you mean by that? Question everything. Okay? If you guys can get those two principles down, you will absolutely crush it, because that is the essence of sales. That is the essence of the skill, and that is how you are going to make a ton of money. Find the true problem, provide a solution. That's it. It's that simple. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was a long one, but thank you for bearing with me. And if you want training, true training on how we actually dive into all of these different things and so much more, there is a link in the description below that is a complete free training. It is a 6-day course, 6-day program that will show you everything that I'm talking about and so much more, so you can actually make money. All you have to do is click the link below. You go right into the free course, and that is it. No catch, no anything. You go in, you get a bunch of value. So click that link if you're interested, and thank you again so much for watching. Make sure and hit that like, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next one.